Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dairy Raid and another transfer portal spotlight. This time we're going to be highlighting three players, the running backs that the Badgers are bringing in for the 2026 season. They are Bryan Jackson coming in from USC, Nate Palmer from TCU, and Abu Sama from Iowa State. When it comes to Jackson and Palmer, not a ton of film that we can break down, but I think there's enough where we can at least get a sense of what their play style is and what they might have to offer going forward. Sama, it's a different story. He was featured a lot more this season. So we got a little bit more we can work on, but we're going to keep it simple, give you guys a handful of plays from each player, talk about what we see and what we can look forward to this season. All right, so first up is going to be Mr. Jackson coming in from USC. He is a 6 foot tall, 230-pound running back, a former 3-star from McKinney, Texas, and didn't get a lot of run this season. And also 2 years of eligibility left. But he is a big, bruising back that it's going to be nice to see that change of pace. But right away here, we're going to see him running. So this is supposed to be basically power burst. And what happens is Michigan slants and the tackle skips basically the wrong guy. So Jackson's got to bounce it to the outside. And for a big back, he's got pretty good hips. Obviously, he's going to run with pretty good pad level with his height to weight ratio. Let's take a look at it from the box angle here. So again, we're going to see tackle is supposed to come out, guard pull. He's supposed to kick out Michigan slants. We kind of disrupt where the block is going. It's supposed to be hitting right in here, but Jackson's supposed to be working here and then bursting. That's not what we get, so he's got to bounce it out and turn on the jets. Knocks out the extra mouth guard, but he falls forward. Nice hard run. And more importantly, nice job thinking on his feet. That little burst right there is what you like to see. And then getting his shoulder square as quickly as he can. All right, next up. I believe he's going to get a few plays in a row here in this series. So here we go. And is that him again? Yes, sir. All right, going downhill this time on the split flow inside zone. Getting downhill, getting some good yards. Let's take a look at his footwork coming out of this. So he's going to be coming downhill off of the left shoulder of the center. Getting a little bit of pushback on the split flow, having the flow a little bit wider. But good feet. No pitter-patter in the gap. And we'll take it. We'll take it going forward. All right, next up, 3rd and 1. We're going to get 3 carries in a row. Nope, different running back this time. That's fine. Edit this in post. All right, 1st and 10. Jackson back in. Nice cutback. He's going to take it to the house. Let's bring it back. All right, so same play they set up earlier. Then we cut it. Really nice. You know, plays like this where you're working laterally to the sideline can be really good if you have the vision to see the cutback, and he's watching right there. 18, as soon as he overflows, boom, cutback's going to be there. Stop on a dime, get the acceleration back, and we're gone. It's a nice carry. Boom. And then working to get vertical. He's got nice burst for as big of a back he is. So we will take it. All right, next series. Still in there. Another split flow inside zone. Not much work in there. So we're just going to put our pads down. Again, what we're trying to avoid is the pitter patter. It's the choppy steps as we're looking for gaps. Let's see. It's just downhill. A little bit here because he wants to burst away from this linebacker. Not much doing there. You know, if I'm here, I'm telling him we put our nose down and we go straight down the hash mark. Because if we do that, we might actually pick up this cut back here, or we take this as an arm tackle. Second and 14. Okay, running that long trap the other way. This time the guard, I don't know what he was thinking there. Absolutely nothing a running back can do in a situation like this. So they're going to down block. They slant away. Now you should be telling that pulling guard, you got to pick up the first guy who crosses your face. You never pass somebody to get to who you're pulling to. All right, so that was the last, unfortunately, the anticlimactic last rep that we're going to get from Bryan Jackson. So from the little bit we've seen, for his size, for his build, he has pretty good burst. He has nice ability to put his foot in the ground, bounce it outside, and get vertical again. I like seeing that. A little bit of a pitter-patter on an inside zone where he had a lot of traffic in front of him. But what we need Jackson to be is the one-cut downhill back. You don't have to be the short yardage back. You don't have to be the goal line back. That's too narrow. It's the one cut and go back. That's what we need. That's what we need him to be, and have the ability to then take that cut and bend it as far as he needs to. I think that type of running style is going to go well in the Jeff Grimes scheme. So that's a little bit of Bryan Jackson. Now, next up, we're going to move on and we're going to talk about Nate Palmer. All right, so here we are with Nate Palmer. Got some action of him against North Carolina. Palmer is a 6 foot tall, 195-pound back. Again, 3-star prospect coming out of Decatur High School in Texas. Another Texas running back. This time he's going to have 3 years of eligibility. So let's take a look. All right, so here we go. TCU in 11 personnel. We're going to run center tackle, little pin and pull action off the stretch. He's got a nice pad level. You know, he's a smaller back, but you could just see how fluid his hips are, always pointing forward. And again, that's important in whatever scheme, but in particular the wide zone. You're going to see this backfield action in the wide zone. And it's going to be a lot of bounce in, bounce out, okay? So runs into the pile, just kind of scoots through, and then it's got the speed and acceleration that once he gets out of the mess, he can burst around some people. I like seeing that. Got some patience and then burst. Not bad. Not a bad start. And just to be clear, you know, I've gone through all their games, and I found games where these players have gotten some extended playing time, and trying to get it where we can get sequences of plays together. Is it cherry picking? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But what I'm just trying to do is I just want to get a feel of who these players are. Well, when you only get a handful of plays in a season, you're not going to get a huge amount of understanding, but you can get a feel. So here we go. Next up, in that wide track, hard to tackle. I mean, for a smaller back, he does run pretty tough. He's got kind of a, I don't want to say a long stride, but he's got a smoothness to his gait that I like seeing. So they're running getting a little pin and pull with the guard kick out. And because when you run with good pad level, got a good strong lower body, you can bounce off of tackles like this. All right, take a look at it again. Take it from the end zone angle. Come on. Pull, kick. Just follow the track. Absorbing contact. Takes 3 guys to get you down. We will take that. We will take that. All right, next up. All right, just a little RPO. I'd like to maybe see him sell this just a tad more. But I guess when your receiver can break a tackle like that, it doesn't matter, right? All right, let's move on. First and goal on the 1. An unbalanced look. What the heck is happening with the quarterback here? Does he want to pull this and doesn't? Yeah, they blow it up. Absolutely nothing Palmer can do there. All right, after that last drive ended in a touchdown with somebody else, we are later in the fourth quarter now. Palmer getting back in the game in a 3-by-1 look. Hey, cutting back on the split flow. I think the little space he was trying to fit in there is a little bit too small, so I'd probably like to see him get more downhill. Let's see it from the end zone angle. Maybe it can give us a better look, especially, when you see that they're going to be 4/3 here, maybe 4/4 if we get here. I'd really be looking for the cutback, especially because we're going to get split flow. Yeah, right there. Now, let's see his initial footwork. So his footwork is bringing him back this way. Does kind of look like maybe we're going to take some kind of read action off this backside guy. But this is where vision needs to be on top of the play call, because we're working too hard here to bounce it here. Just get behind here and kind of squirt through, kind of like we did on that first play. Smaller backs can have a tendency to think they can fit through holes that are not quite big enough for them. All right, so next play up. Palmer's still in. Good. And change play the line. We'll fast forward a little bit. Pass pro. Okay. It's not bad with him taking on an edge blocker. Or an edge rusher, excuse me. Incomplete pass. We don't really care about that. Let's take a look at this. All right, so are they gonna full slide to the right? we're going to get here. Yeah, full slide. Pick it up. At least from the running back point of view. Good positioning. Yeah, I like that. See, we saw last year, this is what I'd like to see Dupree have done better with. Just bursting up the line of scrimmage, sitting the hips back, and absorbing the block. That's actually a nice rep right there. All right, going to bring us to 4th and 4. All right, he's still in. Good. Let's see what we get here. Split flow. Nice hard run. Go get that first down. Yeah, we'll take that. That's some confidence. Nice burst there. Just he runs with just really good pad level, burst. Keep using those words over and over again, but just how strong his steps are. Okay, nice cut. Boom, away. And then what I really like there is left foot, right foot, and now we're going forward again. Sometimes when you get this initial cut, you'll hit it and then you just keep sliding. But he takes that and then puts the right foot back on the ground, and he's already going back upfield. Really like to see. Love how he runs at the end of this play. All right, and you know what? I think we're going to end it there. Pretty good job. So what I really like, what I've seen by Palmer is he's always running with his shoulders, at least trying to run with his shoulders pointed downfield. He does a good job of maintaining his balance through contact. And again, he has good burst. Whether it's getting into the cut, whether it's bouncing off of the pile, those are some pretty good attributes that, again, with this blocking scheme that relies so much on cuts and cutbacks and getting vertical off of the wall of the wide zone, you need a back like this who can stop and get going forward again without losing a lot of momentum. It's all about transfer momentum. And as a bonus, we might have only seen one rep, but at least it looks like he has pretty decent fundamentals in pass protection. So we will take that. All right, so next up, we are going to take a look at Abu Sama, the presumptive RB1 going into the 2026 season. All right, so here we go. Abu Sama versus Colorado. Hey, real quick. Abu Sama is a 5'11", 210-pound back out of Pleasant Hill, Iowa. He's going to have 1 year of eligibility left. And let's see. So we're coming out here. Little bluff to the toss. Again, kind of like Palmer. He's a long strider. And I have a feeling that's going to lead to a slashing type running style. But what I like here, getting out in space, accelerating, and there's nothing there. We just put our head down. Little stutter. Gonna pick up the block of the guard. Guard didn't really block anybody. Big skinny guard. But we'll take it. Nice run. Looks like 7 yards. Next up, under center this time. Badger fans really excited when we see this. Go downhill. Nice vision. Got some quickness. And see, the difference between this, some of you might say, well, you complain about pitter-pattering and gap. This is not pitter-pattering. This is not indecisiveness. This is moving away and then getting our feet in the ground and then getting going upfield. This is not indecisiveness. This is moving laterally. There is a difference. All right, so we're just going right downhill, right down the hash mark. We burst away. We keep moving laterally, lateral acceleration. Then we put our right foot in the ground right there. Boom. And now we get vertical. Get around the edge. Got more inches. He might have been able to take it even farther. All right, so next stop, 1st and 10. Still in the game. Split flow. Again, he's a very patient runner. And lateral, lateral, lateral back the other way. Right foot in the ground and burst. It's from right there to there. You see how much momentum he can pick up in 2 or 3 steps. This is going to allow him to get deeper into these cuts. The deeper he gets, the more the linebackers are going to overflow. And then he's also, even when like you see 42 here, he does a pretty good job of retracking. But he's able to even burst away when he's getting square. And that allows him to pick up an extra yard. It's not a big thing, but it's a little thing that is going to help extend plays, extend drives, just by having that kind of acceleration out of lateral movement. All right, after a couple plays with another guy, Sama's back in the game. A little, not a split flow, lead. Outside zone. Wide zone, interesting here. Just following behind the tight end. No real cut until he gets to the second level and he's trying to burst away from the defenders. Just kind of going with the flow. Probably because it kind of looks like from that angle, let's see from here, that they didn't quite get a backside cutoff on this. That's actually not bad by 70. That's a long way for him to go. Badger fans, this is what Joe Brunner should have been doing. That's actually a hell of a block. What's 70 doing? All right, get inside the 5. Interesting formation. It's the super tank formation. Gonna toss into it. Yeah, that's what I kind of hate formations like this. Like, where else do you think we're gonna go? I mean, you got to give this I mean, look at this crap. Good luck, Penn State. I'm sorry. I hate formations like that because you're not fooling anybody and you're limiting what you can do. Anyways, this is not critiquing Ohio or Iowa State's offense. This is looking at Usama. There we go. That's a better formation. I don't care that they condense it. It's still better. Space and options. Gonna toss. Speed to get around the corner. Again, you run out of space quickly when you're this close to the goal line. Enough speed to get around the first. We're supposed to be kind of getting a kickoff, so he's probably supposed to be getting this alley right here, but he sees a linebacker, so we need to accelerate past him. Yeah, turn something into nothing into something at least. Yeah, you can kind of see gap's supposed to be right there. But linebacker sitting right there. Just stretch it out, see if we can pick up something. Gets inside, down to the 1. We'll take it. Third and 1. He's done a lot of work on this series. They're going to give him the touchdown. Yeah. A little power lead. Not much doing there. Yeah. Colorado don't have much of a defense. And a nice way to cap this off. Great blocking. And Abu gets into the end zone. All right. And that is that. We're going to keep it simple. Just get a few plays on all three of these guys. And just some initial thoughts. What I can see from these three backs is different running styles to accomplish the same goal. So what I mean by that is you don't have to change the offense based on all three of these guys getting in. They're going to have their strong suits, but what I see through all of them is solid lateral acceleration, the ability to put the foot in the ground and then accelerate off of those cuts. Any back who's going to play in Jeff Grimes' offense needs to have that ability. And we're seeing that. We're seeing the building blocks that we need to get from. We're not hesitating in the gap. We are not hiding behind linemen, can't find anything, and because we're pitter-pattering, we have no sense of acceleration. We're constantly looking to accelerate. That's what we need to have. And I think from what we've seen from these three backs, at minimum, we are going to get that. They're going to fit well in the blocking or with the blocking schemes that we are going to see coming forward from Jeff Grimes. All right, so that is a brief look at all three of the running backs that we have so far in the transfer portal. If you'd like to see more, I have actually put together a full game breakdown of this game against Colorado for Abu Sama, and that will be on Substack. So if you join the Substack, you'll be able to get not only this full game breakdown, but two full game breakdowns on Colton Joseph, and then, of course, the full game breakdowns on all of the games that I had film access to this season. Pretty good value in my eyes, but an opportunity to dig deeper into the scheme, dig deeper into the players, and learn more about what we had, what we're going to have, and where we're going in the 2026 season. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.